absolutely fantastic to have you all here.
Thank you very much.
It's been a year of legends for us. We've had Elton John and Motorhead, and now Spandau.
That's a nice bill to follow. Yeah. Two bands we love.
So how's it feeling to be here?
Well, I mean, listen, it's one of the sort of wonders of the world. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. I think everyone who sees, you know, Eden is just knocked out at how space age it looks and how amazing it is. So, you know, what a beautiful backdrop. And tonight it's going to be lit up as well, and it's going to be fantastic.
I love Cornwall. I come here every year on holiday, and it's just nice to be playing open air. Is so good as well. I mean, we've done all our arena stuff, and now we're branching out to open air, and this is looks like it's going to be a great bowl to play in.
Am I right, Tony, that I think you came to Eden and saw it at the very beginning when it was a hole in the ground?
It was a hole, it was a hole in the ground, and Tim Schmidt and stuff.
At the time,
and with my mate Paul Travers, and we looked at the Heligan Gardens, which are beautiful, and then Tim was explaining, you know, his dream and what it was going to be like. And then I came back when one sort of sphere was made, and now it's developed into, I don't know how many spheres, quite a few now, but amazing.
Surely.
You could say that, John.
Was it the first time for any of you seeing Eden today when you did the sound?
I mean, I've holidayed here quite a lot and always wanted to come here and stuff. But thought, you know, all those queues and everything, you know, so I've
been
everyone
up the queue. I bet you
exactly.
get special pass.
It's amazing, yeah. So hopefully a bit of time afterwards.
For me, it was going back in time. There was a film in the early 1970s called Silent Running, which was a science fiction film with Bruce Dern, where they took away all the plants out into space to save them, really, in a geodesic dome, a buckyball, just like this. And so for me, it takes me back to, you know, being 14 and what the plants could all die, and that juxtaposition of beautiful modernity against, you know, an ancient landscape is fantastic.
Our Eden mission here is a really simple one, and it is that if we work together, we can make a better future. Do you have empathy with that?
Yeah.
I think everybody does.
I believe in people.
Yeah, I mean, everyone just wants, you know, I mean, we live in a crazy world and there's so much violence and stuff, but everyone, you know, I've got kids, we've all got kids, and you just want your kids to grow up in a beautiful environment. So
we can all be alchemists if we turn our minds to it and turn a coarse energy into a finer one.
One of the most iconic bands of the 80s.
Thank you.
You know, you were so many hits, but spiraled into incredible success by True at a pretty young age. What was it like for you, and what can you name?
Being pretty and young.
You know, we were. It was a great time for a lot of young bands. I mean, we were involved in all of our own creative areas, and to you know, to sit around making things up and then selling them around the world. That was a pretty great feeling. But you know, with MTV being starting, and you know, that really projected all the British bands around the world. And you know, pop music became very global at that point. And I think, you know, what a great time to be making records in.
Well, I mean, the thing is, things have changed now. I mean, in those days, we didn't have an A&R man or anything like that. We just used to go away, make the record, and go, there you go. And when we presented True, the record company were very, very happy. So, and it went to number one in 21 countries around the world. So it changed our lives.
On a lovely bright
you know.
note, though, when it went to number one, we were actually on tour in the UK. And there's nothing better for a band to suddenly find yourself on tour and having a number one record.
It's lovely.
Single and album.
And 2009, obviously you reformed after nearly 20 years apart.
Yeah.
Now, you know, incredibly successful world tours. What is it like being back together performing?
It's terrible. I don't even know why we're doing it. No, it's brilliant.
More fun than ever. I think the band's better than ever. I think our relationship is probably better than ever.
More solid than
look, really, you know, we had so much grief, you know, for a long while. This is just a pleasure, and we're just enjoying every moment.
I mean, we've said many times, we've all said that, to be honest, to actually finally have the courage to get back together and get rid of all that angst and anger that we were carrying around with us is a tremendous relief. So 5 years ago was great. This time, I think it's a lot better. We're just a lot more relaxed with each other, and as John said, we're playing. I think we're playing better than ever.
We make an enormous sound, and it sounds like no other band. It sounds like Spandau Ballet, and so there's a great sense of pride every time we get up on stage and play together. You know, it's difficult to explain to people what it's like. It's a bit like, you know, no matter how old you are, if you get on a bike, you still feel like a kid. Every time we get on a stage, we still feel like young men.
It's good fun.
I've still got the stabilisers on, that's why I still feel like a kid.
The fabulous movie that you made and brought out last year. I mean, what a great movie, and such incredible footage in it. But as you're talking, some pretty, tough, brutal stuff in that movie.
Yes.
What was it, how emotional was it making it, and was it cathartic?
Well, I mean, I got George Henkin,
Yes.
our female director. Yes, I mean, it was incredible making it. But she took over 400 hours of footage and edited it together to make the film. But while she was doing that, she was interviewing each one of us, and it was almost like therapy, and getting our individual stories. And from that, she then constructed the film. I have to say, I think, on behalf of all of us, it was very emotional watching it the first time, second and third. I cannot watch it anymore.
It's
brilliant,
a story that I think anyone of our age can relate to, because very few people get to this age and haven't had some kind of upset with a friend or a loved one, and maybe they've tried to make it up with them, and I think there's a lot to relate to on screen. We're just ordinary blokes and we fell out, but we had something much more important together than apart.
We just heard a bit of it now, but you get the most phenomenal reaction from your fans. And the hits have been the theme tune to so many people's lives. How much does it mean to you?
Well,
We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them.
Yeah, I mean, it means everything. I mean, being on stage, as Gary said, is like the ultimate. It's the best. But I've got to tell you, just a second. There was it happens quite a lot. But there was a girl at the front of the stage at a gig the other night, and we played Through the Barricades, which is my favourite song, and she just started sobbing. I was getting welled up as well.
I thought it was an allergic reaction, but
Someone was standing on a turf.
She had something in her eye.
What we do, every performance of every song is different every night. So, and a lot of that
it's not supposed to be, Steve. It's always
No,
been ready.
but because of the reaction of the audience, that obviously affects how we are on stage, and it makes us play
True.
better.
You're emotionally
You
engaged
just-
with
you're
every
very
song.
much engaged.
We never go through the motions.
You see people enjoy themselves right in front of you. You make great records, but no one's clapping when you're making that great record. When you do a great show, and these guys are incapable of doing anything other than a great show. You see that immediate reaction. So we're looking forward to some more smiley faces.
We have what we realise is they're not our songs. They're not just our songs. They belong to the audience as well. We have a responsibility when we play that to make that a great version, because we don't know how important that song is to various people.
You've said, just lastly, that the pinnacle...
Music's getting loud.
The pinnacle for
We're on.
all of you is the live performing on stage.
Yeah.
I think tonight is going to be a really special show in this place, beautiful place.
Yes.
Tell us, what can we look forward to?
Well, I mean, obviously we're going to be doing all the hits and more. We also, there's a great section in the set, which is one of my favourite bits, where we go back to like 78, 79, the kind of Blitz period, where it was kind of real kind of dancing.
If I can interject, the Blitz period, as you can hear warming up, is actually Rusty Egan, who's supporting us tonight, and he's the DJ of the Blitz. And if it wasn't for him and Steve Strange that really pushed that whole movement forward, the 80s wouldn't have looked and sounded as it did.
So
warming up.
I think
all
what
the
you can
hits and
expect
more.
tonight. Yeah, you know what? We're a gang, and when we're on stage, we have a great time. And you can watch us fall apart at times as well as people, just enjoying ourselves. And we expect the audience to be part of that. It's not a show where we want them to sit back.